Oh, it was so worth a trip to go down to Cork. It was so worth it.
Why is it any time we go down to Cork, just craziness happens?
Crazy, yes. Every time, and I have to say this, and I don't know, you can agree with me or not, but I have to say, in my personal opinion, I've seen a lot of live shows in the last year or so, certainly since we started doing this show. This rivals any show I've ever seen.
It's definitely.
I won't say it's the best.
It's in the conversation.
It's definitely in the conversation. Yeah. Definitely top 3.
Yeah,
like definitely in there. Like they did a fantastic job. Like obviously they had some lighting problems like here and there. We'll get to that as we talk about it. But beyond that, everything they worked with was fantastic.
To be fair, we thought that was a work anyway.
Yeah, that's what I thought as well. We'll start off anyway. Danny the Beast Butler took on Bull James for the CCW All Star Championship match. It turned into a drinking contest at one stage.
It was a can off, wasn't it? Really?
Yeah, no, it was a good match. It was a good it was still a good match considering all things. Like, and then it ended up with a drinking contest, and then Butler fooled James and pinned him, leveraging from the ropes. And I was yelling, "Ref, why did you see that? How could you miss that?" The ref was like right there, but there you go. Like, it was still a good match anyway. A triple threat. I don't know if this is impromptu or not, but it was a triple threat hardcore rules match between Chris Renfrew, Vic Viper, and Billy Bedlam. Because Billy Bedlam came out, I think, just saying, "Oh, I haven't got the match," and then Vic Viper came out of nowhere. And then all of a sudden Chris Renfrew came out, and then here we go.
Those shots at the start.
Oh
my god.
Oh my god.
That was Sandman like that was.
Not even that, but I think his was his kendo stick like that when he came in, where it was like half broken off.
No, he broke it over their heads.
I couldn't tell if it was actually.
No, he broke the kendo sticks over their heads.
Oh my god, it was awful. No, I remember seeing the blood on Billy Bedlam's
on his shoulder. You got a bit of a cut there.
Awesome hardcore match. Yeah, it's very rare you see a hardcore match nowadays. Oh, we never see that here in Dublin.
Yeah, well, like Lee said, this is like the ECW of.
Yeah, this is what they're trying to encourage. So.
Listen, I'm all for it, and that wasn't the only hardcore part of the night. We'll just wait till we get to the main event.
Oh yeah, oh god, so we'll get to that shortly. But going back to this, like they used ironing boards,
tables,
trash cans, broken kendo sticks.
There was also thumbtacks.
Oh dear god, yeah.
Chairs. What is the things? What was it? Food trays.
Food trays, yeah.
Oh.
Anything and everything they could find.
Everything,
I think they used people as well. Like they did that.
They did at one point, didn't they?
They do Pete Dunne sort of thing at one stage.
Somebody
where they carried someone.
I don't think it was that match though.
Oh, wasn't that? Oh, probably
it wasn't. That was the Bram and.
Oh yeah, I remember now. Yeah,
and
Bram and Lewis Garvin. Yeah, we'll get to that shortly though. Yeah, Chris Renfrew ended up picking up the win anyway. Like I was delighted to see Chris Renfrew. I've been delighted to see him for a while now, so it's awesome to see him. Now, the tag team match between Rough Stuff, CT Flexer, and Paul Scarf against the Armstrongs, Marion and Butch. Before we bring that up, though, we have to talk about Total Armstrongs. How brilliant was that? No, seriously, that's one of the best promos I've ever seen.
It was good.
It was fantastic, and it was so clever. Like where Butch came to the realization that Marion is now a babyface, and how he had to tell his pet rabbits. And I hope they keep doing that. I really do.
Yeah, I hope that's a running thing now.
Oh, they have to.
Do. Yeah.
This is like their Breezango moment, if you like.
Yeah.
Like, if that's not a weird thing to compare them to, but it was so funny.
No, I think that's better than Total Divas, to be honest. I had more enjoyment watching that than I do watching Total Divas.
As you would.
Yeah. Marion seems so happy with his becoming a babyface.
And so the crowd, they were all chanting babyface throughout the crowd as well. Prior to the match, CCW Tag Team Champions, The Establishment, Lee Callahan and Jack Weiss came out and cut a promo saying how no tag team should be able to challenge them. So I think this match, we both said will have implications, if you like, for the tag titles, and they joined the commentary for that match. Then Rough Stuff won the match in the end, and then afterwards Establishment attacked Rough Stuff as they were celebrating, only for Rough Stuff to gain the advantage. And then the Establishment, the Armstrongs came in and were hit by the CCW titles, and then Rough Stuff. It looks like so it could be Rough Stuff now in the Establishment for the tag titles, because they held the titles up so afterwards. So it'll be interesting.
Are Rough Stuff the faces?
With the heels, it'll be heel against heel then, by the sound of things. It'll be interesting to see how that comes about.
It will be.
We see so many face versus face matches.
It's something different.
And so many face versus heel matches. We don't see enough heel versus heel matches.
Yeah.
So we'll see how that presents itself. Now, you could argue this is the match tonight. The Fatal 4-Way for the War Culture Pro Wrestling title. Joe Henry against Jordan Devlin, Will Ospreay, and Ricky Combat.
Wow.
Incredible match.
Wow. I can't believe that match. It was unbelievable.
And it was amazing because like Jordan, it was almost like Jordan Will, and I'm not taking it away from Joe Henry. He played the heel very well. He was like, "Oh, you three guys,
you
can
got to do your
want.
thing." Yeah.
And by God, the thing, especially Ricky Combat, like he really stepped up.
Yeah.
We know he's a fantastic wrestler. He's probably one of the best wrestlers that Ireland have, that they're in this country right now.
Mm-hmm.
But by God, he stepped up against someone of Will Ospreay and Jordan Devlin's caliber as well.
And Joe Henry's caliber, not just.
Oh yeah,
well.
Absolutely.
It seemed as though Joe and Jordan had their little partnership during the middle of the match while taking out Ricky Combat, which was then broken after Joe Henry tried to sneak a pin while Jordan wasn't looking.
Yeah, but I think the thing with Jordan has his character where he's like an in-betweener. He's not a face, he's not a heel.
Mm-hmm.
He can be one or the other in the crowds, which I think is good for someone like him, because he can adapt to the crowds, or adapt to the match and be either one or the other, as opposed to him just being a heel at the moment in OTC. Yeah. So, and I think he'd be more of an in-betweener in most places. I think he's like that in ICW when he wrestles there as well.
Yeah.
From what I've seen now. I think he was more of a heel than the face when he faced Trent Seven. Mm-hmm. But I'm not 100% certain on that. So, but yeah, that's definitely an amazing match. Now, as we talked about Brem versus Lewis Garvin. Lewis Garvin's actually very good, isn't he?
Fantastic.
Yeah, wrestling. Absolutely. And
really good
my
wrestler.
God, Brem. The size of him.
Huge. The chap was massive.
I didn't know. This is probably too personal to bring up, but I didn't know he's an ex-wife of Charlotte's.
I believe he is.
Yeah,
actually. Yeah.
Somehow, the more you see her,
he's
the more
the ex-husband
of Samantha.
Yeah.
Ex-wife.
Yeah.
I should quickly correct it. It's ex-husband after seeing the chops that man delivers.
They went into, this was the first match after the break, and they went into the crowd, and they hit each other with cans, as you do.
Yeah.
Lewis hit him with a can and then spit a can out everywhere and threw it over his head, and it went all over me. So instantly in my head I was saying,
how dare you?
Kill him. Kill him. Cans are not meant to be wasted that way.
That was my can as well, actually.
That was your can?
Yeah, I gave him the beer. I didn't think he'd throw away like that.
Threw it away. Waste of good beer.
I was right up the front. Well, to be fair, it was like that. Whatever. What was that beer we bought in the supermarket? So
still beer. It's a waste of good beer.
If it was Smidwick's, I'd understand. I think didn't you buy a Smidwick's with your 4-pack?
I didn't.
No. A few of us did. So we're like
There was like 6 of us, wasn't there?
Yeah, I think Cormac bought Cormac was with us as well. He had
his 2 nice beers for his 4 not nice beers.
No, I think it was 1.
Oh, 1 nice beer for his 4 not nice beers.
But he was clever. He drank it first instead of drinking the rest after. He'd have no taste left in his mouth by the time he gets to the 4.
Yeah.
So makes more sense.
Yeah. It was class. Bram then eventually brought it back into the ring.
Yeah.
He then beat Lewis Garvin with, what would he call his finisher?
Oh, I've no idea.
Yeah. No idea. There was a stack of chairs anyway.
Oh,
during
yes.
the match.
Was it a chokeslam?
It was a chokeslam.
Yeah.
You're right.
So I just flashing back now.
The night is coming back to us now.
Drink
it's taken about a week.
Drink was involved.
But at one point Lewis Garvin called for everybody to throw their chairs into the ring.
Oh yes, now I remember that. Yeah. Including my chair. And we all got them back at the end. So.
Yeah, and he was then going to do. I think he was going to give him he was trying to give him a. Was it I think it was either a German or just a normal suplex.
I think it was a normal suplex.
Before Bram got out and chokeslammed Lewis Garvin onto the chairs for the 1, 2, 3. Bram wins. He's wrestled the whole time in his kilt as well. I think he forgot to take it off.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Oh, maybe it's part of his gear.
Oh,
maybe
it's not part of his gear. That's part of his entrance gear.
You sure?
Yeah.
No, how can you forget to take off your kilt for a wrestling match?
Oh.
Unless you're not wearing anything underneath.
I don't know.
Which would have been obvious if otherwise.
I think then it was at one point. It was later on in the night, wasn't it?
Was it?
It was when it was over and we were there talking to a few people after the night was over.
Yeah.
Remember there was a guy that came in who was piss drunk out of his head.
Oh my God.
He came into the ring and you just see Bram walking towards the ring to ready to kill the guy.
And he did. He took him down, choked him out.
He took him down. He didn't choke him out.
He literally
He dragged him out of the ring. And he dragged him out of the ring and stuff and kicked him out, which he should have.
He tried to do that twice, I think, or something
He
like
did.
that.
He tried to do it just after the show finished. And then he did it later on when a lot of people had already left.
There's a lot of side notes to this card in general, like, you know, especially the chopping. There's some fan, I don't know his name, like he was talking to him and his girlfriend afterwards, and he persisted. I want to get chopped by as many wrestlers as possible, because I think Will Ospreay started something during the break.
A chop for a picture.
Pretty much, yeah. And he persisted in having so many chops from all the wrestlers. I think Will Ospreay chopped him. I think Viper chopped him. Ricky chopped him. Brem chopped him. Chris Renfrew, though, who had the hardest chops I've ever seen, ever.
Yeah.
I couldn't believe how hard that. The hardest chop I've ever seen was to this day is Fabulous Nikki.
Yeah.
This is so much. You can't help but cover your chest.
Yeah. You wince, don't you?
Wince
you
so
really
much,
wince.
yeah.
Especially when we were trying to have a conversation with people.
Yeah.
And then every 5 seconds you just hear.
Yeah. And here's a few of them. I was trying to talk to Vic Viper after, and he kept doing this to me. I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, no, I'm okay. I want to breathe tomorrow. It's okay. And here's your man who has like several welts on his chest.
And he was loving it.
Oh, he loved it.
That was a sadist right there.
Oh. I appreciate it, but there's a fine line as well.
Anyway, we'll move on to probably the most one-sided match of the night.
A 2-on-1 handicap match between Tron against Connor the Body Charisma and Lou King Sharp. Now, I have to admire about Connor Charisma and Lou King Sharp, and I said to both of them afterwards, the amount of heat they generated was amazing.
Yeah.
They literally, there was parts of the crowd that literally were saying such abusive stuff to them, and they didn't care. Like, they were almost right in their face at one stage, you're going to do nothing. I love that.
To be fair, though,
I love that.
To be fair, the one person that got the most heat was Lewis Garvin.
Well, how?
Remember he spoke after the match? He's like, I love it down here in Belfast. Their
crowd
hated that. They hated that.
Well, I get that. That was a tease, and I understand how you can get heat from that. But compared to these guys, who I think were telling off Irish wrestling in general, actually, then again, kind of Charisma wouldn't do that. I can't remember. What
it was Luke King Sharp that did the promo beforehand. It wasn't, and then Connor came out afterwards. He didn't say a lot.
I think it was just because they were so loud, exactly. The louder you are, the more irritating, especially for the two of them, who are both very young or at least very small, and you think, oh, these guys mean nothing, and that's why it created so much heat for them. Like, whatever they did just worked until Tron just squashed them, and that was that. So there you go.
Yeah, that guy Tron, if you've never seen him in person,
he's massive.
Think of Killian Dean, but
bigger. But way bigger. He's 7 foot tall.
Yeah, bigger.
My God. Now, the Fatal 4-Way match for the CCW Women's title, a fantastic match, actually.
Yeah.
Raven Creed, Lauren LaRue,
it was kind of ruined by me, for me a little bit.
In what way?
Because there was a few idiots behind us.
There was
a few idiots sitting behind me and Stephen particularly, that were saying, remember there was a lot of heat from the OTT show because there was one guy saying horrible stuff to the women.
Yes.
Like the really bad stuff.
No, were they shouting this? Because I must have missed this. They were shouting this. Okay, because I'll tell you what, I was paying attention to another bunch actually that were across the ring, that were chanting something at the same time when Raven Creed was coming out.
Yeah. I think that's the thing, that she has a thing with that crowd, because she kept going back to them.
Okay.
But these guys were just...
Because I noticed Katie Harvey looking at them and not really approving it. And I'm like, oh well, is that okay? Because I noticed it too much. I didn't hear what was going behind me. But
the guys behind were just saying absolutely awful things, and it was just horrible to be near them, because they were distracting, because I wanted to do something to them, and
I couldn't help it.
I couldn't help having to pay attention to them. And then at one point, one of the lads thought it'd be funny if he took his shoe off, took his sock off, and then threw it in the ring while they were trying to wrestle.
Threw his sock into the ring?
Yeah.
I didn't even notice that. Yeah. This is behind me.
This is behind us, yeah.
I was so enthralled by the match, I think that probably felt...
By this stage, you had gone up right to the front.
What?
You had gone right to the front at this stage.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah, you were sitting right.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I was up at the railing.
Yeah, you were.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, this was like in the back.
Oh, right in the back. Oh, okay.
Yeah. Well, there's only 5 rows. It was not right in the back, but you know what I mean.
Still, I'm surprised I didn't hear it myself.
The back of the 5 rows. They were just horrible people to be around, and I hopefully next time we go down to Cork, I don't have to be anywhere near them.
Well, maybe just keep a cheap can beside you, hitting with them or something like that.
I should have.
We don't encourage
folded my chair and hit them with it.
We don't encourage violence on the show, but like there comes a time and a place.
There is a certain times.
But let's go back to the match. The match itself was a fantastic match. I think all 4 ladies delivered big time on this match.
Oh yeah.
Like, you know, the high flying wrist, especially from Raven, and what I really loved about this match,
Raven and Valkyrie as well.
Valkyrie, remember the fight they had with the elbow fights they're having with each other. They're going Kevin and Sammy on each other.
Yeah,
how awesome was that?
Fantastic.
And it was it was a really terrific match. Like everyone, like, you know, I said before and I'll say it again. This is like the best era ever for women's wrestling. Mm-hmm. I know you said it yourself. You don't like materializing it and bring it saying that's women's wrestling, and I get it.
I don't see it as women's wrestling anymore.
It's wrestling.
It's wrestling. It's wrestling,
and I get that. But the fact is, they're bringing up that standard where it is wrestling.
Yeah.
In the day, it's a division of the women's division. Like, you know, like and I don't see the harm in still putting it towards that. Like, but I see what you mean all the same. But that said, they all delivered, and I'm delighted for Raven Creed for winning. Like, you know, no one, I think she deserves this, and she's only what 19 years old.
19 years old.
Yeah, now she's CCW champion, and I give her full credit where it's due, because I think there was a power shortage when the match ended, which I asked her about it afterwards, and she said no, it didn't spoil it at all. Like, you know,
no, they kept going as if nothing was happening.
Yeah,
it's not as if we couldn't see anything. Obviously, there was still light there anyway. It was fine.
Yeah,
I thought it was a work.
That's what I thought.
I thought we all thought, all of us around us thought it was a work. I thought Billy was going to come out and try and interrupt to try and get Emma to win, or Raven, I should say.
Yeah.
And I just broke kayfabe there. I'm very sorry. But
I missed that. So.
But yes, it wasn't. It was actually a real outage. But it doesn't matter. The match went on. Raven won, fully deserved it as well with the match. Like throughout the match, I was going for either her or Valkyrie that I thought would probably win it. Yeah. They were both doing, I think, probably the most dangerous spots as well. And they were getting, like, I think they were probably in it the most as well, involved. Yeah. But like, Raven worthy winner, and I wouldn't begrudge seeing her going up against Valkyrie in a one-on-one match for the title next time. I prove it big time. Yeah.
I have to give, now, before we mention the main event, I have to give credit to Lewis Garvin and what he did during the blackouts. Now, especially considering how you believe that he generated from calling Belfast instead of Cork and coming out and messing around like that to distract the crowd. Not many people would do that.
Yeah.
So I give him all the credit in the world for
nobody would know. Not many people would come out and just try and keep the crowd happy while they were getting
I give him all the credit in the world for that. Like, that's a very brave thing he did. I give him all the credit in the world. But we won't digress on that. Like, we'll move on to the main events. Pastor William Eaver versus Joseph Connors for the CCW title.
And just before we get into the match, if you didn't listen to our preview last week, this match had history with going into it. This match had a lot of history going into it, because Pastor William Eaver, unfortunately, the last time they wrestled Joseph Connors, did send Connors to the hospital and seriously injured his neck. Yeah. From a crucifix. There was a crucifix into the corner, which he was sent straight to hospital, had surgery. Thankfully, he's fine. Obviously, we all know Joseph Connors is fine. He took part in the UK tournament. Everyone knows he's completing his indie dates and everything like that. So it's gone fine. So there was so much in this match before it started.
Oh yes, a lot of heat.
How they started it was
perfect.
Unbelievable.
It was perfect when you think about it.
It was the perfect one. And for someone that had, like, he had to be the heel, but he also had to be the guy that was trying to get revenge for being injured. Yeah, and it was difficult. And I likened it a little bit to years ago. Do you remember when Brock Lesnar broke Bob Holly's neck? Yes. And then Bob Holly came back and came on a tirade after that.
Yeah, similar to this.
That's how I got that sort of. That's the similarity I got from it.
Or you compare it to that.
Yeah.
All right.
But for anyone that wasn't aware or you haven't seen anything about it on social media,
which I'm surprised you haven't.
Joseph Connors went straight on the mic as soon as he came in. He says, "I'm not having the match here. I came here for a fight. I'm going outside. If you want to come, follow me." And he followed him.
And it's a match started in the Cork and then outside.
It went outside into the alleyway, started in the alleyway, went out onto the street, went into the River Lee nearly,
Seriously?
Yeah, did you? We do not go out?
No. I tell you what, I didn't go out when they. I only came into saw it when they started coming back into the alley.
Yeah.
I stayed inside. There's only like 3 fans still there.
Yeah.
I had a quick chat with the announcer and the 2 commentators before joining everyone else, and then I was like, oh, they're coming back. I better get out of the way. And it's when I think Connors drove Eaver into one of the pillars like outside.
Yeah.
And then I went back in there, but it was mad. They were suplexing each other against the walls.
Suplexing each other against the walls and shutters and stuff like that, banging into the shutters. Went across the road, stopped traffic, like all the crowd and everything, stopped traffic.
Seriously?
Outside. Yeah. And there were people in the car just laughing, watching this. Connors tried to throw with Pastor William Eaver into the River Lee.
My God.
Stopped it, came back into the ring. Then the match finally started. Actually, no, what happened was at the start, wasn't it? Connors knocked the ref out.
That's it.
That's what he did. He knocked the ref out. Then he went onto the mic.
Oh, okay. That actually makes a
Yeah.
lot of sense when you think about it. That way it became a fight.
Yeah.
And then when the match came back into the ring, it was an awesome physical match, as you expect. Like, you know.
Connors wanted revenge, and he went onto the mic one more time. Says, "This is the move that nearly ended my career. I'm going to do it to end your career." Cue 4 crucifixes into all corners of the ring. Pastor William Eaver comes back with his own crucifix, pins Connors, retains the title. A unbelievably crazy match.
One of the best,
and an unbelievably crazy show.
It's the perfect finish. It's like it's the best finish for that type of show.
Yeah,
and it was so well told. The match.
I think
such a brilliantly told.
I think
match.
how I said it's up there for one of the best shows I've been to ever.
Oh, me too. No question.
That's probably the best finish to the show I've ever seen.
Well,
I've never seen a better one.
Oh.
Not live anyway.
No, I'll tell you what. I'm going to agree with you there.
Yeah.
I have to agree. The best finish I've seen to a show was the last OTT when the controversy between Ryan Smith and Mark Haskins for the title, because that was so unpredictable.
Yeah.
But this in this case, this match has history.
Yeah.
So this is like it had the story coming up, and it was just so well told.
The history, the build, the start, the match itself, the finish. Crazy.
Absolutely
crazy. Fantastic, perfect. Any positive adjective you can think of, add it to this match, because that's what it was. If you have not seen the match, go and subscribe to the CCW on demand that they will have available for this show.
We recommend everyone now, especially everyone here in Dublin who hasn't been to a CCW show.
Yeah.
Go.
And the great thing is, it's
Just
cheap
go.
to get there.
It's not. Yeah,
the tickets aren't too expensive. They're the same as it costs to go to an OTT show.
If not cheaper.
If not cheaper, exactly. Accommodation is pretty good as well. We found a good place.
Yeah.
There's hostels all around the area as well.
Yeah, but we recommend you book early as well to get the best availability.
Yeah, we
as well.
struggled a little bit because that's our own fault, because we couldn't get the numbers down.
Yeah,
that's our own fault.
Yeah, it's our own fault. But if you're preparing advance, even if you get the bus down, I was talking to Keane was there as well, and he got the bus, the last one back to Dublin. Like, so even do that if you can manage that.
You can do that, because the show finishes about 11. The last bus to Dublin's at 11:30.
Exactly.
So
and
you can do that too.
And the bus station is literally across the roads.
Yeah.
So
yeah, exactly. And if you want to stay in Cork, there's so much to do in Cork City that night as well.
Yeah, we had a great time after.
Really recommend going to it. It's fantastic. And look, listen, if you haven't, you're the one who's missing out.
Exactly. Absolutely.
I can't wait till the next time we go down.
Yeah, like, you know, they have Summer Brawl coming up now on the 26th.
Summer Brawl is coming up. They released the date on the 26th of August, the same night as Conor McGregor and Floyd Mayweather.
It's interesting. So
it's genius. Go watch some wrestling, have a good time, and then later on in the morning, watch Floyd Mayweather against Conor McGregor.
Find a pub that plays it or something like that. So if Cork have
that is the perfect night.
Yeah.
Right there.
Makes sense.